Welcome to part 3 of Researching Your Business. In this area, we're going to talk about psychographics. Psychographics is a term that's commonly used, but many people don't really understand what psychographics means to a business. The reason why we use psychographics in marketing versus just demographics is that people are not easily divided into purchasable target markets based off of the demographic data, especially if our product becomes very specialized. I may be selling golf balls or golf equipment, and I might say, well, the average our core market is going to be males from the ages of 35 to 45. Well, just because now, if you're a male between the ages of 35 and 45, doesn't mean you're in the market for golf balls. Just like when we looked at the Harley-Davidson demographics, that said their primary market was Caucasian men 35 and above. All right, I would fall under that category, but I don't drive a Harley-Davidson, nor am I in the market to become a customer of Harley-Davidson. So what we do is we create psychographic profiles that combine different demographic information together with different variables that could include personalities, values, interests, or lifestyle choices, and we create profiles around those choices. There's a couple different links that we have here. One of the more popular psychographic programs out there is what is called VALS, and there's a company out there that does VALS research, and for you to purchase these VALS studies is quite expensive for a company. But they do have a VALS survey, and basically what they are trying to do is they are trying to put people within these charts. And so they either list you on your primary motivation and where are you in that motivation area. And so the primary motivation, they list you as ideals, achievement, self-expression, and based on the survey that you take, they figure out where you fall under in these areas. And so let's say innovators. Okay, and now each one of these categories, they have a breakdown. And so an innovator is successful, sophisticated, take-charge people with high self-esteem. Because they have such abundant resources, they exhibit all three primary motivations in varying degrees. They are change leaders and are the most receptive to new ideas and technologies. And so each of these are going to have different breakdowns. I would recommend that you go through these links and take a look at them and really look at the different breakdowns and kind of think about where you think you fall in those categories. Okay, the explanation link, obviously I need to go back in there and fix that. But there is also here a sample psychographic profile, which is a PDF, which is safe for you to open. And the nice thing about this profile, it was done by a company that did psychographic information, and they went to a place called Bishop, California, and they created psychographic profiles of the people who live there. The interesting thing about it is I want want you to look at how they break down these lifestyle segments. And so one of their psychographic customer profiles is what they call Greenbelt Sports. And what they're saying is it's the largest definition, 27.3% of the population would fall under this for that specific community. A segment of upscale, ex-urban couples. Greenbelt Sports is known for its active lifestyles. Most of these middle-aged residents are married, college-educated, and own new homes. And few segments have higher rates for pursuing outdoor activities such as skiing, canoeing, backpacking, boating, and mountain biking. So the key here is not only are we looking at some demographic information, but what activities do these people participate in? So this one's specifically saying these people ski, canoe, backpack. So maybe how does that lifestyle fix your target market? And we're saying upper middle class, middle age, without kids. And so then they have a young and rustic, which is lower middle class, middle age, without kids. Young and rustic is composed of middle age, restless singles. These folks tend to be lower middle income, high school educated, and live in tiny apartments in the nation's ex-urban towns. With their service industry jobs and modest incomes, these folks still try to fashion fast-paced lifestyles centered on sports, cars, and dating. And so they have different titles for each of these areas. Now the chart previously here, it's kind of hard to see on the screen because I can't rotate it, but it kind of lists the different profiles that they're identifying. And this is just one sample. I wanted to give you an idea of how one market research firm puts this information out. Okay, so now when we talk about who is your customer, it's essential for you to identify who your customers are. Generally, businesses will look at, as we talked about, their top 3 customers, your primary, your secondary, and tertiary. So you need to be able to answer these questions as we're going through the feasibility process. What are your customer profiles? When we talk about your primary customers, I like to use the term low-hanging fruit. Growing up, we had an apple tree in our backyard, and the apples we picked first are the ones that I could grab without getting on a ladder. And so who is the biggest customer base you have? Go back to the Harley-Davidson example. They said Caucasians, male, 35 and above. Based off their sales data, it looked like 68 to 70% of their sales domestically came from Caucasians 35 and above. So that was their primary customer. Who's the customer is going to be purchasing from you the most? These customers should also be the most profitable customers. But let's say you own a restaurant. Which customers are more profitable? People that come in just for drinks or people that come in for lunch? Those are the things you have to identify. Where is your profitability? Are your lunch customers as profitable as your nighttime customers? They may or they may not be. Do you understand why customers would be interested in your product or service? All right. I am a customer of your competitor. Why would I be interested in your product versus the competitor? Are you providing a different service? Are you providing better service? Are you providing it at a good price point? Is there something different about your product or service that isn't currently out there in the market? Why would I go to you? And it's got to be more, well, we provide better service. Okay, what is that better service? Is it 24-hour phone support? Is it something to do with online? What is it that's going to set you apart? Because that is going to be your competitive advantage that you try to push and sell to your customers. You need to be able to communicate why they would come to you. And it's got to be, well, just because. It's got to be more than that. Another area in the feasibility stage that we're going to talk about in researching is our location. And our location we're going to look at in 4 different responses. Number 1, getting back to the customers, looking at what's the proximity to the customer. Now, hopefully, if we do this previous research, we've identified who our customers are. So now we can go back to the demographic information of those communities and say, well, our customers are Caucasians 35 and above. Well, obviously, we want to go into a community that has a large population of Caucasians 35 and above. We may take it even further with the psychographic information, with kids, without kids, whatever, depending on how that breaks into our target market. If we are going to be opening a daycare facility, we want to make sure that there's a lot of families in the area that would use a daycare facility. What's the business climate of that community? Is it easy to start a business in that community, or is it difficult to start a business in that community? Some businesses in some areas are more receptive to starting a business than in others. For example, the city of Racine is notoriously known to be a difficult business community to start a business in. They have a lot of laws and regulations. You have to go through the city board to be approved. So how easy is it for you to get started? Are there different areas of concern? Like if you want to start daycare in the city of Racine, it depends where you want to locate it. Because in some areas they have pretty much put a limit on the number of daycares per how many feet that you can locate. So you need to make sure you understand what those different communities and what they're looking at. What are the resources within the community? And this is both what do you have for local park systems? What do you have for activities? That is also a draw for potential customers. Is there growth there? And if you're going to be hiring employees, is this community a place that people are going to want to relocate to work for you? Then you have to look at the local economy. Is it growing? We looked at those economic indicators. We looked at the city of Racine. We see that people are leaving the city. Population is down in the city of Racine. Now we look at the city of Kenosha. Their population is up. We look at the county of Kenosha. Their population up. We look at the county of Racine as a whole. Their population is up. So maybe that's telling us something. The fact that the population is going down, what is bringing that on?